4th anniversary of the Delphi murders, yet law enforcement is not anything closer to solving the mystery. But here, breaking on this channel, Singapore's psychic provides new information. Today we discuss about a case of two teenagers that were murdered in Delphi, Indiana. They went on to afternoon hike, Abigail Williams and Liberty German, and they never came back.
It's been 4 years since 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Libby German vanished on a hike near their hometown in Delphi, Indiana. On February 13, 2017, at approximately 1:45 p.m., the girls were dropped off at their starting point near an abandoned railroad bridge. They never returned.
In a murder case, the police will do things in a sequential order, like is there a motive? Was a heavy insurance taken on their lives? Is there a quarrel between the parents? Are the parents a suspect? Are the family members? Is there anything significant that's happening in school that might cause another parent to take revenge on this set of parents? Everything came to a dead end. They did have a picture of this guy and his they believe that's the murderer. A picture like this is very significant, and in fact they have two composite sketches. These are the sketches, but they look so drastically different. I find it very interesting because I'm a face reading expert and I actually scrutinize the ears, the nose, the mouth. I know exactly what shape they are, and even with that expertise, I can't even describe my own mother to an expert composite sketcher to significantly describe what my mother looks like. I don't know. Because most of the time, just at one glance, you can't take in all the information, all the 150, 160 points on the faces to give a accurate composite. Okay, that's my side comment. But here is what I want to talk about. I decided to approach what you guys will call a psychic. Some call it a remote viewer. For Christians, they call it a prophetic visionary. And this visionary gave me some startling revelations, and I'm going to show you the actual text messages, and I'll correspond to what the law enforcement has already found out. So this was the actual text message I sent to the seer. If I give you two names, Abigail Williams and Liberty German, are you able to read into their lives? And the seer said, I'm not familiar with the case because, we are not Americans. We're from Singapore. We're not familiar with the case. And that's even better because then we are not influenced by any of the media. So my seer sees a young man with a loss of personal power from his younger days, someone who has been abused by mother figure, perhaps when younger. He did what he did as a claim to personal power. He has mental and psychological issues. I wonder if he is told to be on antidepressants. The seer is not sure, but has not taken for a long time, and this person is also in the same town. Pretty significant. First of all, I put out a disclaimer. You do not expect any visionary remote viewers to be right 100% of the time. If they are at God level. But you think about it, if a person does call out prophetic visions and prophecies, and they are right about 60% of the time, a shot in the dark, and still get it right, that's pretty good already. Okay, if it's 60%, it's pretty good. So here are the significant things that we see: abused by mother figure, and now reclaiming back that power. So watch this video clip.
Directly to the killer, who may be in this room. We believe you are hiding in plain sight. For more than 2 years, you never thought we would shift gears to a different investigative strategy, but we have. We likely have interviewed you or someone close to you. We know that this is about power to you.
That's the superintendent 4 years ago already mentioned this, that he feels as a police profiling expert that the criminal did it to claim power over others.
We know that this is about power to you.
So the police says it is likely that we might have interviewed you, and he is closer than we think. That's what the seer said. And here are more text messages. Look at this one. This text message says, police should check institution. He is nearer than anyone thinks. So that's congruent with what the superintendent said. And have they checked the right culprit in the schools and in the church? She goes on to say that I'm more inclined intuitively towards the church. In my mind, I see a church as an ordinary church, like what you always see in Singapore, maybe red, brown, orange brick building. I said, not sure metaphorically or not just a church building I have in mind, but more in tune of the feelings that this is sure a church damn super strict one, very book type, by the book, very legalistic. It was a guy that brought up in such a strict home where he gets flogged even for like things like masturbation. So immediately I said, is it Baptist? Because I felt that it just came to my mind. A Baptist church was quite a strict church, besides Presbyterian, of course. The seer replied, I haven't the faintest idea. I'm not familiar with denomination, whether it's strict or not. The seer significantly says it's a brick type of building. We don't have the red brick type of churches. Well, not many in Singapore. This is what our church looks like. And for the Catholic church, it looks like this. And there's only one church in Singapore called St. George's Church that looks like this red brick. This is not something we'll think of when we think of a church. But that's what the seer says. A red brick church. So when I key in Baptist Church in Delphi, this is the building I get. Okay, significant, isn't it? Police have done their homework and they picked up Daniel Nation. His photo, let me show to you. The moment I saw it, the whole countenance tells me, red alert, this guy is something that you're going to be very wary of. I know some of you are like, hey Christian, don't be so judgmental. That's what profiling is all about. So what we see here is on the facial features, the eyes are very far apart. That's not quite normal. The very small lip, the downturned eyes, the ears are low. Do not read it individually, but it's through our years of experience when we put it all together, and that's called a composite, a combination of all these. This guy is not really normal. It could be a bit deranged. So the police was right to pull out someone like him. Because he could be a little bit warped up and he could just kill for his own reason. The police background shows he has many felony charges, and I don't know what came out of the case, but this is one of those type of profile and one of those types of characteristics that you really want to watch out for. They say this guy is very familiar. Not this guy, but the guy earlier on that's walking the bridge should be very familiar with the Delphi area, because no one really goes there. If you're a tourist, you don't go there. It should be someone very familiar with the community, and that's what my seer said. Someone's among them. She showed the red brick church. It doesn't mean that the guy is going to the red brick church. He could be living around the red brick church. He could be a contractor for the red brick church. He could be a caretaker. He could be a homeless living very near to the red brick church. You could find evidence, the murder tools or something near the red brick church. I'm not sure. So sometimes we don't want to get involved because seers becomes a prime suspect sometimes. So I hope that doesn't happen. Thank goodness there's no way of linking us to the murder, because we are just like 200 million kilometers away. And you think that's all I have for you? Here's one more text message from my seer. She says, frankly, I don't know why police keep finding people with criminal records. This one really out of whack. He doesn't have a criminal record and is least likely to do what he did. Wow, quite an audacious call. I don't know, right or wrong. If you know someone in Delphi which you think this information is going to be useful for the investigation, please send this video to them. I know they have more than 50,000 leads. This could be very insignificant into what they call the spam folder. We do what we can to help. I ask all the other seers and remote viewers around me to start coming on board, and when such cases are being brought to our attention, we do whatever we can to help. Okay, so subscribe to this channel because we do significant things like face reading. And so before you go, let me show you two of the family members of this Delphi murders, and you can see on the left side of the face, left side is your personal side, right side is your professional side. The left side of face have a line coming down. That's a grief line. And this happened when you have a shock to your system due to a personal loss. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, this is Christian CHua signing off.